All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Athenian Stranger tutorial video, where today we are going to dive deep into a discussion of simplification using the distributive property, and we are going to simplify something that ends up giving us a squared term. So we are asked to simplify the following. Here's what we're given. 2m, open parentheses, 11m minus 9, close parentheses, plus 11m, open parentheses, 4m plus 11. Okay? Now, this problem it's a challenge problem. Okay? And it's a challenge problem for us because we have worked with exponents. Okay, we've got videos on exponents if you're confused about how exponents work. And we've learned how to work with letters. Those are variables. We've learned how to do the distributive property. And we've learned how to simplify rather than solve. Because again, there's no equal sign anywhere here. But this problem is a challenge problem because it brings it all together. And that can be very distressing if this is the first time you've done it. And, you know, it is for many of you. Okay, so just understand, again, as we solve this problem, or rather simplify this problem, if you're reaching here, if you're saying, man, I'm just barely hanging on, brother, that's okay. That's where you should be because this is new material. But we keep pushing our brains, we keep pushing ourselves forward. I promise it will not be long before you look at this expression here and you make mincemeat of it very, very quickly. So again, even though these letters are there and all that, nothing has changed. 2m is still multiplied by everything inside here, and 11m is multiplied by everything inside here. Okay? The distribution part has remained unchanged. We'll multiply 2m by 11m. We finally get to do something with those m's, and then we'll multiply 2m by negative 9. Over here, we're going to multiply 11m by 4m, and then we'll multiply 11m by 11. Okay? So that is what we're going to do. Let's start on the left side. We have 2m times 11m. It's a very, very important little reminder over here. Little reminder. Okay? M times m. We have to remember something. This is super important. Make a note of this, people. When you have a letter by itself, it always has the exponent of 1. It's not written, but it's there. So m times m equals m. And then from that exponents video, you know that the product property, when you multiply two letters together that are the same, in other words, when we were doing this before, we called these letters bases. When you multiply the same base together, you add the exponents. So here we're going to write m and then 1 plus 1. That's just 2. So it becomes m squared, or m to the 1 plus 1, which is m squared. Okay? And that's as hard as this is, because the other thing we have to do, 2m times 11m, is multiply 2 times 11. Well, that's just 22. And then m times m is m squared. Okay, 22m squared minus, now we have 2m times negative 9. Okay, all right, we put the minus here, so it's 2m times 9. You can either put the minus sign and multiply 2m times this number, or you can just multiply 2m times negative 9 and you'll end up with the same thing. Just don't get confused. Don't put two minus signs anywhere because there's only one minus sign. So 2m times 9. Well, 2 times 9 is 18. And there's no m to multiply by, so the m just comes along for the ride, right? So there's our first expression, simplified. Now, plus 11m times 4m, right? Let's do that off to the side just in case this bit here confuse you. 11m times 4m equals. Remember, these m's have the exponent of 1. When we multiply m times m, it's m squared, because it's m to the 1 plus 1. So we know that our answer will contain m squared. But what is the front part? Well, it's just 11 times 4. 11 times 4 is 44. 44 m squared. So when we go back to our problem, we have 11m times 4m. That is just 44 m squared. Plus, now we'll do the second thing, 11m times 11. Okay, there's no m over here with that 11, so the m's just going to come along for the ride. We got to figure out, though, what 11 times 11 is. And if you don't know it off the top of your head, just multiply 11 times 11. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Now we're multiplying down here. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. When you add it up, you get 1, and then a 2, and then a 1. So 11 times 11 is 121. But we're multiplying 11m times 11, so we write plus 121m. Okay, now what? Well, we just continue to simplify. This is where we have to do something called combine like terms. Okay? It's a mind bender, but we're going to combine terms that are alike. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean they're alike? Well, I've got here a two-sided pencil, and I'm going to circle the terms that are alike with the blue pen or the blue pencil, and then I'll circle the other terms that are alike with the red pencil. Notice here we have 22m squared, and over here we have 44m squared. All right? So they are alike in the sense that they are both squared terms with m as the variable. So that's how they're similar. So you group them together. We'll circle them. Okay? Now, negative 18m and 121m are similar because they just have m, no squared. So we'll circle those with the red pencil. And now I'm going to combine the like terms. So first I'll combine my blue terms, and then I'll combine my red terms. Over in side work, we're going to do that by adding 22m squared and 44m squared. Okay? Now just because it's a squared term doesn't mean there's anything weird going on. The m squared, just like before with the m squared just comes along for the ride. 22 plus 44, all right? 2 plus 4 is 6. 2 plus 4 is 6. So we have 66m squared. So we put 66m squared. And you don't have to do this, but you've now dealt with this. You've dealt with these. So whatever you need to do to keep what you're doing straight in your head, sometimes I cross them out just so I know, hey, I've dealt with those. Those are simplified right here. All right, so this is my blue term here. 66m squared is just the simplified form of 22m squared plus 44m squared. Well, now we got to deal with this, negative 18m and 121m. So let's stack that up. I'm going to put the bigger term on top, 121m, and then negative 18m, it'll be like subtraction, negative 18m. Okay, put all that, and now we'll do the subtraction. So the m just comes along for the ride, no worries there. And now I can't subtract 8 from 1, so I'll borrow from the tens place and turn the 2 into a 1 and the 1 into an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. And 1 minus 0 is 1. So I've simplified negative 18m plus 121m as 103m. It's positive, okay? So go over here and put plus 103m. That's my red term simplified. Okay. Now, question, is there anything else we need to do? Right? Answer, no. There's nothing else we need to do because we've simplified all of our m squareds and we've simplified all of our m's. There is no way, because these things are just being added together, there's no way to like combine them together in some clever way. So we'll just write, okay, simplified form is 66m squared plus 103m. Now we got to check the problem, okay? So we think it's 66m squared plus 103m. Let's check it to make sure. The beauty of checking is you never have to grab a calculator and you never have to wonder, right? A lot of people hold their breath, cross their fingers, and then they click the answer and they hope it's correct. But we don't need to hope. So we're going to check it. In mathematics, we can be certain. So we'll set 66m squared plus 103m equal to our whole original expression. 2m, open parentheses, 11m minus 9, close parentheses, plus 11m, open parentheses, 4m plus 11, close parentheses. Okay? Had to kind of cram it in there at the end. And so we want to know, is this equal? Well, the way we check it is by plugging in a number. And the easiest number to plug in is 0. So let's imagine when m equals 0. Okay? So everywhere we see an m, we'll put a 0. And I'm actually going to, I don't like to do this, but I'm going to back this up because I don't want to be running out of space over here. So over here I'll write 66m, or rather than writing m, I'll write 66 times 0 squared plus 103 times 0 equals, question mark, 2 times 0, open parentheses, 11 times 0, minus 9, close parentheses, plus 11 times 0, open parentheses, 4 times 0, plus 11, close parentheses. Okay? So let's just kind of work it out. 66 times 0 squared, doesn't matter, 0 squared is just 0, so 66 times 0, that's just 0. So here's another thing you can do. This is kind of like, well, that's just 0, right? How about this? 103 times 0, that's just 0. So the whole left side of the equation we just set up is 0. So now we want to know, does all this stuff become 0? Well, let's see. 2 times 0, that's just 0. 11 times 0, that's 0. So we have -9 in here. By the way, we're leaving behind zeros when we do this. So this is 0, and this is 0, and this is 0, and this is 0. All right. Now over here I've got 11 times 0. Well, that's just 0. And then 4 times 0, and that's just 0, plus 11. Okay. So I'm going to write out these zeros on the right side so we can see what we're working with here. I've got 0, open parentheses, 0 minus 9, close parentheses, plus 0, open parentheses, 0 plus 11, close parentheses. Well, let's just keep plugging away. So now I got 0 equals question mark. Okay. And then 0 times, open parentheses, 0 minus 9 is just -9, plus 0, open parentheses, and 0 plus 11 is just positive 11, close parentheses. So let's keep simplifying. I have 0 equals, and then here it's just -9 times 0 is 0, plus 0 times 11, oops, you can't see this, 0 times 11 is just 0. Okay, so does 0 equal 0? Yep, 0 equals 0. That's a double check mark, and that means that we correctly simplified this expression. This is good news, all right? So that is how you simplify an expression that involves the distributive property and squared terms. Okay, so this video was dense. There was a lot packed into what is about 17 minutes here. So this, again, guys, if you're watching this and you're saying, oh, I got about 25% of that, I want you to know that that's okay. All right? That is okay. We will continue to work on this. I promise you will get it. It's a skill you've got to master, and you will master it because it's not that hard once you kind of figure out the pattern we follow. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If there was something you didn't understand or something you want me to explain further, leave a comment. And if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you're always alerted to new videos on this channel. Thank you.